Okay, so this is going to be my video review on Saw 3. I just watched it last night, so it's a little fresh in my mind. So the main message I felt, or lesson that I got from Saw 3 was basically about willpower, basically, and just how strong a will can be. This could be one of the hardest lessons for anybody to have or to learn, because when you test somebody or you kind of want them to grow, when you force someone to grow, you also risk forcing them to fall, basically. There is no risk of growth without destroying ourselves, and that's with everything. That is 666 method. That's the gamble of 666, but I don't want to get too much into that philosophy. But basically, that's just the message that I got from Saw 3. Let's see. So it talked a lot about emotion and willpower was the main thing, or the main themes about this one, and also, I guess, legacy, but also reality. So, I will actually start with the ending with Jigsaw. So with Jigsaw, Amanda was his legacy, basically. It's what he wanted to leave behind. She was his legacy, what he wanted to leave behind. And the very end, Jigsaw had to face the reality that the person that he built so much to hold his legacy basically fail. Basically, it was sort of like an all or nothing kind of thing. Like, she had to face her own weakness, which for her character, which the character of Amanda, was emotion, but at the same time, Jeff, the other character, was also, his weakness was also emotion, his trial. So it wasn't like, one side or the other. So anyway, so Jigsaw had to face that reality in himself at that crossroad, that what he dedicated his life to doing, helping people, helping save people, he faced the reality that he can also help people find great strength within themselves, but at the same time, through Jeff's character, he found that he can also destroy a person, and he can just destroy who they are completely and have them completely turn their faith on whatever it is that they were strong in, which also that was Amanda and their philosophy. And she basically showed that reality to that, I left this to you, but, anyway. Same with Jeff's character. Jeff's character was about, can you forgive the person? Can you forgive the person that did what he did to his son? And by testing his ability to forgive him, Jigsaw ended up sending Jeff, down a darker path, basically a path of vengeance, a path of, hey, I can get revenge for everybody who did wrong to my son. So Jeff blamed all these people for what happened to his son. But like the lawyer said, you can't hold on to that vengeance, because if you hold on to bad feelings or emotions toward other people, you yourself won't be able to move on yourself, and even punishing those around you won't fix the hole that you have inside of you. That hole needs to be filled with more love, or needs to be filled with something that is more rewarding in life, not revenge. Or even holding a grudge. Like, those things are not going to help you. And even at the very end, Jeff was like, oh yeah, I forgive you, and then he ended up failing the test by killing John. And by doing that, John had his recorder and was like, hey, I told you couldn't kill me because I'm the only person who knows where your daughter is. And now basically Jeff had to play another game to re-find his heart. Jeff had 2 kids. He had a son and a daughter. And although he lost his son, he still had a daughter there that needed him, that needed his love. What he needed was there in front of him the whole time. and he just neglected it. This little girl was neglected by both of her parents, which I never noticed until now, actually. But she was just a neglected child, and she was a reflection of the heart of both of her parents. The doctor, Lynn, who did the brain surgery on Jigsaw, supposedly she was actually her mother, which the movie could have done a better job explaining that Lynn, the doctor, and the dude that was doing his thing, that those two were a couple, that they were married, and I guess got divorced and everything like that. But that's why they were both kind of depressed. They were both going through a broken will from losing a child, but it was more apparent in Jeff's character. But the little girl was neglected by both of her parents, and Jigsaw had the tape at the very end of the third one to sort of show that, hey, you can't neglect what you have. When a person dies, it is okay to grieve for them. It's okay to grieve for that person and let them go and remember all the great times you had. But at the same time, if you have someone that is right in front of you, someone that is still here, alive, it's good to cherish the love of that person, to cherish the presence of that person, to just cherish that they are still in your life and they are still alive, breathing. They're still able to be touched. They're still able to laugh with you, to grow with you, to eat with you, to just do whatever. And it is important to not let death consume you or grief consume you when you lose somebody, but to embrace the people that are still here and that you can still grow with. That's just what I got from Jigsaw's message toward the end. And if Jeff learned to forgive and he fully understood the lessons of the tests, then he could have strongly embraced his daughter at the end, similar to the end of Saw 2. Also, the trials, I think he had 3 trials, which for some reason I want to say that there was 4, but the one trial that Jeff had to go through, I'm going to start with the lawyer because his is a bit more clear, I guess. Jeff had to destroy the belongings. The love that his son had for him, the bonding, the memories, that always exists within us. You know, if we lose somebody, those memories are always going to be inside of us. It's always going to be what made us who we are today, what made life more fulfilling on the limited time that we had. And sometimes when we lose a person, we have physical objects or something that we cling on to try and be close to that person, but on a stronger level of love, that person's love exists in who we are and what we do with ourselves and how we treat others that we love in the future and ourselves. It can't be put into objects. And as sad or as hard as that might seem, I guess it's okay to have a relic of someone that you love, but at the same time, just, grieve while you can, but don't cling too much to these physical objects because your memories are what are more important than these people. Burning the belongings that his son had is like you have to cleanse things in our life or purge things in our lives, physical things that keep us attached to the past, keep us attached to things that hold us back from embracing the future of what we can be or what others can be for us or what we can be for other people. That was a message that I got from the second trial with the pig juicer trap with the lawyer. I can't say too much about Timothy Young, the actual killer that ran over Jeff's son. It was obviously in the story it was an accident, and that was said that when he ran his son over, it wasn't on purpose. It was an accident, which would make sense why the sentence was so low. Even the guy even stopped and cried over hitting the kid because it was a complete accident. He didn't run. He tried to actually own up to it and still got arrested. And the tape even told Jeff, like, hey, this man, it was an accident what he did, but can you forgive him, or do you want him to die? Which, in my opinion, I don't think he should have died, especially because he owned up to it. But, sometimes we get blinded by our bad, negative feelings toward people, that we overlook that sometimes what they did to us was an accident. That it's not that they didn't purposely try to hurt us. And I know we can't be perfect in life. We can't analyze every single social situation, but what we can do is limit how angry or upset we get at other people, or how we hold a grudge toward other people. Sometimes we can just choose to just let things go, or deal with things in a more, I guess, authentic way for ourselves, something like that. But you never know how other people are suffering from. Even if they did something bad to you, you don't know how they suffered themselves. All you know is, you hurt me, so therefore I'm gonna hurt you more. And you have no idea what other people go through, unless they flaunt in your face, oh, blah blah blah, I'm glad I hurt you. Unless they're flaunting that in front of your face, you don't know what they're going through, how they're being eaten up inside. Sometimes it's not good to approach people like that with a hostile attitude, whether they be an old friend, a family member, or something like that. Just try to not be so vengeful, I guess. I really want to say I feel something about the shotgun scene, which was, can you take a bullet to save someone? Sometimes I don't know. I don't want to go, because in the situation of the movie, it made sense, but applying it to a real person's life, I'm not sure how that would go. Jeff, with the freezer part, he had to put his cheek up against the metal bar and rip a piece of his face off. And toward the end, he had to take a bit of a shotgun shell to the side of the face to get the key to save the guy that ended up, Timothy, the guy that ran his kid over. It makes sense that, Jeff had to sacrifice small pieces of himself. Okay, that makes sense now. He had to sacrifice tiny pieces of himself in order to fully realize the importance of what it means to save an entire person's life. Like, those tiny pieces of himself that he had to let go were just pieces of his skin, basically, like the side of his face or whatever. But for us personally, sometimes those pieces that we have to give up could be things like our pride, or something more egoistic, or something that, our sense of, oh, I feel right in the situation. Your own sense of justice, personal sense of justice, not universal or overall sense. Sometimes there's just a hard pill that we have to swallow, that is a piece of ourselves that we have to kind of suspend or cut away or get rid of in a situation to understand the importance of the overall situation. That's what I saw in Jeff's trials with the self-inflicting parts. And I can't believe I've almost done this for 15 minutes and I did one part. Okay, so to quickly, this movie also talked a lot about emotions also, and how emotions can, if we don't have a good grasp on our emotions, obviously bad things can happen. Bad things can happen, can hurt people around us. We can get other people killed, things like that. I guess how I can put myself into the situation. I had a friend who was with another friend, and they were just having fun, and one of them pulled out a gun, and they were both drunk, so my friend was like, oh, whatever, I dare you to shoot me. They were just playing around, and apparently he didn't know that it was loaded. I don't know how that works, but anyway, she got shot, and apparently it wasn't the actual gunshot that killed her, it was her bleeding out. Yeah, he stood there. He didn't try to help her. He even said that he freaked out and he didn't know what to do, and he just left. He didn't try to help her. But if he did, he could have saved her, because she died like right before the ambulance got there. Like literally not even a minute. But okay, I don't know why I even brought that up, but oh yeah, so emotion sometimes, we can get too caught up in our emotions, and sometimes it could even stop us from helping people who need help, or it could just stop us from doing what's best in the moment. Or sometimes it can make we become destructive in the moment when we get too emotional about things. It's hard to control emotions, especially because they're an authentic expression of ourselves and who we are. It's very hard for a person to hear, I need to suppress my emotions. Like, no, a lot of people are like, I can be whoever I want to be no matter what. But again, sure, you can do that, but at the same time, if your emotions aren't in check, then you're going to express hurtful things toward other people, or even express hurtful things toward yourself, if you don't have a good grasp or understanding of your emotions, or have a good base as to how your emotions can be expressed. Expression isn't the problem, it's the source of where the expression comes from is what can be the problem. And that's what a lot of people overlook. But this movie, Saw 3, helps me understand that. Legacy. Whenever you want to grow in life, you risk falling also. But even if you do fall, you still have another chance. You can always keep going. It keeps going. Even with even with Jeff's character, John wanted Jeff to grow, and even though he would fail, he kept getting more opportunities to keep forgiving and keep forgiving. Even at the very end, when he failed, John had another tape that was saying you have to play another game, basically, because it just keeps on going. No matter how many times we fail in life, we can just keep going, So so basically that's the recap with Legacy. If you want to grow, you risk falling. Emotions aren't bad to express. You just have to have an understanding of why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Honor your emotions and what they mean, and have a healthy investment in those emotions. Find that inner pain within yourself and find a healthy way to have understanding as to why you're feeling that way, and maybe take baby steps to help express better parts of those emotions if you choose to want to get better. Also, don't neglect the loved ones that are around you, because they could be there to help you, or they could be in just as much pain as you. But if you're too wrapped up in your own feelings, you don't know how the other person is feeling, no matter how much you care about them, no matter how you feel about it. Anyway, and cherish the people around you that are still alive, and don't let grief oversight what's important in life. Anyway, I think those are all the messages that I got from Saw 3. Just focus on what's important. Sometimes what we feel is not always what is important in the overall scheme of things, as strange as that might sound. But yeah, anyway, I'm just doing the best with what I got, and hopefully you're doing the same. I hope this changes somebody or helps them see life in a different perspective. This video went twice as long as I wanted it to go, but I'm okay with that. Anyway, have a great day. And bye.